Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I just wanted to tell you that no matter how difficult your day is right now, you need to keep going. You need to do ERP. You need to keep pushing through. If you are not doing ERP, basically what you are doing is just suffering. You need to show your brain that OCD thoughts don't matter. And I'm gonna link at the end of this video another video that explains why you have to do ERP and how OCD works. But you have to understand that if you don't do the work, it's one of those things I can tell you with 100% certainty that it will not go away by itself. It might morph from one theme to another if the first theme is no longer important, but it will come back. And it will continue to come back until you finish this issue. And the way you finish this issue is you refuse reaction. So it throws one thing at you, don't care, not reacting. What if you need to do this? Not doing it, you need to ask. Not asking, you need to check. Not checking, you need to avoid something. Not avoiding, going against what OCD wants you to do all the time. That trains your brain that these thoughts are no longer important and they will stop coming into your mind. Again, not instantly, but after a few months, they'll start to come in less and less, and after a few months, they'll be fully gone. And it doesn't really, I'm doing this for so long, I can tell you, it doesn't really matter for how long you've had OCD. So if you've had it for, say, 30 years, it doesn't really, it doesn't mean anything in terms of the recovery. If you start to do the right things, the brain will shift the same way it would shift if you had, say, very intense OCD for the last 6 months, but it's been very intense. The brain shifts similarly in both ways. I know it kind of seems like it wouldn't, but in theory it doesn't seem like it, but in practice I see this all the time, and it really does. It really is just doing the work to the best of your ability. And like I say, you don't have to do everything. It's all or nothing kind of thing, but it has to be 5% each day and increasing, right? So 5% today, 5 more coming from today, tomorrow. So now we're at 10% disregarding. So you're still doing 90% compulsions, but 10% you're not doing. The next day 15, and so on. And slowly you overtake, not doing the compulsions, whether mental or physical, to doing them, right? So it starts to, you start to gain momentum. And at the same time, the anxiety lowers, right? And you will have setbacks, you will have bad days, that's normal. You will feel like, oh, it's all over, I'm at square one. You're not. These are common things, but you just have to keep going, pick yourself up, start again, and again, and again, and again. And I'm telling you, the more you train your brain that this doesn't matter, and the more repetitions you have, this is very important to mention while I have this thought, that your brain kind of works in a mathematical way when it comes to OCD. So it needs to have a certain amount of repetitions in order to say, I get you. This is not important. Okay, I'll let go. I'll stop sending it to you. I don't know what this number is. Nobody really does. So as many repetitions as you can get. So for example, if in the course of a day, you're only exposed to the trigger situation once a day, or maybe once a week you're only exposed to the trigger situation. Well, you know what I mean? It's gonna take forever to recover just because you don't get enough of an exposure, right? So try to do, if that's the case, try to do more exposures. Sometimes you can watch a TV show that deals with the topic. If there's nothing in real life, right? A talk show, the news. These kinds of things help. Just for you to face, the OCD, right? To say, whatever, you can bring stuff up. I can bring stuff up too. Who cares, right? So you're kind of saying to the brain that I'm no longer the victim. I'm no longer being afraid of this. I'm done. I've been afraid for long enough, and I believe I am done. And you're taking this very powerful position. And from there, you're taking the power back. So OCD has less power, and it starts to subside because you're overriding it. You're, like I say, you always, right? Retraining your brain. That's how the recovery goes. And like I said, setbacks happen, bad days happen, just, days without much movement happen. But if you always go back to doing the work, and most of the days are progressive, um, that's good enough, you know. And how you feel while doing the work really doesn't matter, you know. Don't get too caught up in, well, I still feel bad. I'm doing the work, but I still feel bad. It doesn't matter. You will feel good. It's just, you know, this is right now the situation. The more you pay attention to how bad you feel, and the more you take it seriously, I feel so bad. Oh my God, I'm never going to recover. You know, you can't do that. You know, I've had a really severe OCD, so I really get, you know, how much it matters to you how you feel. But you have to step over it and say, you know what, right now, only recovery matters. Everything else, whatever. You know, that has to be your attitude. And again, it's hard to maintain this day after day, right? But it has to be the majority. If you look back at the week, right, the majority of your week has to be with this mindset, you know. And if you fall off track, if you do some sort of a compulsion, okay, that was, you know, half an hour, whatever. Now I'm done, I'm moving forward, you know. And really kind of looking at it like an allowance, right? Like, I'm not going to allow myself more than this amount of compulsion. So you're kind of on an OCD diet, so to speak, right? Where you only have this much room, you know, to do compulsions or to obsess, right? Because a lot of the times also the obsessing, the people don't realize how that when you are obsessing, you might not be doing physical compulsions or trying to figure things out in terms of, you know, go to different resources to figure things out, but you are spinning it in your mind. And when you're spinning it from a position of fear. So if you spun it for 3 hours, for those 3 hours, you showed your brain that this is very important and relevant. So the brain's only response will be to send you more thoughts, you know. So that's why you have to watch it. Just stay busy. Not too busy where you're stressed out, but busy in a sense that, you know, you give your brain something else to at least somewhat sidetrack to. You know, you won't sidetrack a lot, but you will sidetrack somewhat, you know. So it will give you a little bit an easier time when it comes to fighting back. I hope you find my videos helpful. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I do daily videos discussing all things OCD. If you'd like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. I'll see you tomorrow.